Hello and welcome everybody to the final after show for Avalon. That means it goes out to everyone. So hello everybody. This is an after show. This is where we chat bollocks for like however long it goes for.
It's not bollocks.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So
I didn't realize it until like one point when I messaged EE and I was like, you guys just let me play test something that had not been tested at all. Thanks. I don't know if you realized you were doing that when I pitched this.
I think after our first time doing Monsterhearts with you, we were like, we don't need to playtest this. We got this.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. I totally know what I'm doing. And I'm like frantically like flipping through finding moves for people. I'm like, I didn't plan this.
I don't think we planned to get that much experience for certain people.
No.
I love the
originally
move that I got
thought
for this
that.
episode, but I didn't get a chance to use it. I'm so sad. I love the move so much.
Which one?
I got take the blow, which means that when you lip into the way and take the blow instead of someone else, roll volatile on a 10 or up, you take the harm but reduce it by 1. On a 7 to 9, you take the harm instead of them.
Ooh.
I'm
because
sad
I've
I
got
never
so
got to
high
go into
volatile.
Darkest Self.
Same.
Or bonk anybody.
Hey, Lance is
It would've
sorry
been-
about that too, but
I didn't want to bonk the first episode. I was hoping it would be like the next, but then it was a mess.
You
top
ruined
tips
everything.
for teenagers
Yeah.
out there, don't bonk on your first episode.
Yeah, 3 episodes then maybe.
Yeah, you
That's the
guys,
general rule.
I
Three
was
episodes in a row, yeah.
surprised by the overall lack of bonking and the overall plethora of political squabbles. Like, I'm not upset about it, but I was like, oh, we went on a slightly different route than maybe Monsterhearts was built for.
Yeah.
Which I kind of think is still really cool.
Oh, super fun.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, you can fight in Monsterhearts. It's just you have to do a little bit of creative zhuzhing.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit more creative because there isn't a direct, like, there's no like initiative, there's no like system for comparing roles against people. You would typically declare the action and base the outcome, which means that both people can declare actions simultaneously, and then it's kind of me to decide like what does that mean if both of you succeed on something. And so I like to sometimes when I can to give the choices of like they succeeded so you have these two options.
I think all of the times that we've had to something like that happen were cool with me. Like you made fair decisions and I thought it was fun.
I like to try and put some of the decision in your court, so it's like, okay, well, you both succeeded, but like, so here are your choices and like pick A or B.
Speaking of decisions and choices, I liked the ending. I liked that you didn't make Jalal pick.
Yeah.
You had Vivian choose, but then in the end it wasn't Vivian's choice, which was cool
Which
because
made me mad. Oh, that's why I was
I-
like yelling at Lance.
When you guys kept trying to press him to do it, like at first I was sort of tracking like how everyone reacted and like what they were doing, and I was gonna actually have him decide. And then like the more we got into it, I was like, I can't put this decision in my hands because it's not my choice. Like that's a player decision if you're gonna sacrifice someone's life. But like
if he'd made the choice, it would have easily been like Lance. I'm pretty sure Lance is the most compelling argument.
of all of the characters, it was definitely Lance or like Morgan. Morgan didn't have a very compelling argument.
Yeah.
I want it. That's
Morgan
why I
was
just have it. I want
confusing.
it.
Yeah, it's
At the start, it was
get most things.
like, no, I don't want to die, and I want other people to die. And then at the end, it's like, no, I do want to die, but I'm gonna do wacky stuff or something.
Yeah. I like legitimately though, if Vivian had agreed to Morgan's plan, like I was so ready to roll with that too. I was like, all right.
I didn't
the
understand
problem
that
is I
at
think
all.
Vivian in another world might have agreed to Morgan's plan. Like if Vivian and Morgan had become, which is an interesting thought. Just think if we went rewinded and
Yeah.
Vivian and Morgan were friends. Like imagine what madness would have occurred. I think Vivian would have been a totally different character than what it ended up being, which is crazy. You were gonna say something, Dylan.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't understand that plan at all. Like, what Morgan's
Yeah.
mindset of like, we don't want to work, or we want to kill the dragons, but we also want to work with them, but not really work with them. I'm
Also
like,
giving them
why?
a fake grail. Like dragons are smart.
Yeah, that
Well,
part
it
was
wouldn't have worked if you didn't get a 10, which you didn't, so it probably
Even then,
wouldn't
they'd
have
have probably
worked.
been like, excellent, now to drain the Grell of Power so that I can then use the power to wait. There's no power. What?
I'm like,
Yeah.
poof, run away.
I knew what
Yes.
Lance would have done if you'd actually pulled
Pop
that
it
off.
on the nose like a
Also,
shark.
I feel like evil dragons are not gonna. They'll be like, sure, we'll make a deal with you, and then they'll eat you.
Oh yeah, no,
But,
it would
like-
definitely have ended with, at some point, Lance being like, okay, so Morgan's left standing, possessed by a dragon. I guess we
I
kill
do
Morgan?
want to say that like Morgan had a delightful idea that Josh messaged me.
Ooh,
Oh,
can we
yeah.
tell?
Well, I was.
This was when all of you were messaging me, and I was like, "Stop!"
I was like, should I message her? Because you all messaged her.
Well, initially, I did message just kind of pile it on, but then I was like, oh, actually, I need a hand. And I was planning on just, if my magic would have worked, it might have happened, getting possessed, drinking from the grail, smashing the crystal, probably, maybe, and using my possessed death to weaken a dragon, and then we would have had 2 weak dragons, and then someone else would have had to deal with it.
But we would have had 2 weak dragons if we'd have just destroyed the crystal.
It was perhaps convoluted but delightful.
Yeah.
My ping to Lauren was just, can I lock people out if I want to?
And
That
then
was my answer to that.
mine was just letting Lauren know, hey, I'm gonna pick Percy. You can use that to whatever you want. Like if you want to,
okay, so
if
she
you want to make it
knew.
dramatic, if you want to make it crazy, if you want to agree, disagree, like just letting you know.
And that's another piece of I'm like, I can't be an NPC. Like unless all of you
Yeah.
are like, no, we're not gonna do it. I'll be like, all right, I'll throw an
It's more dramatic if
Oh,
it
no.
was
I didn't-
a player.
I had no intention of Percy actually ever getting the Grail
Yeah.
because I was like, there's no way we would allow an NPC to get it. But
No.
I wanted to put Percy's name out there to see how Artie would react to me being like, I
Chat
think Percy deserves
mad.
it. I know, chat was so mad.
That was like, you're like, what out of the
No,
light?
I think it was the. I think it was the. I think
Pause,
Percy
pause.
deserves it. It's just like,
But like
What?
the description was like that. Is he talking about Lance or Artie? What's the angle
Well,
here?
my goal was I really wanted Artie to step up, like, and be like, Percy, if you want to do this, you can do this, but I feel like I need to do this, as opposed to Artie's decision being, no, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it because I'm the king and I should do it. And I was like, no, Artie, that is not the answer that I wanted from you right now.
yeah,
Really
that's
so
why
judgmental.
Lance was like,
Yeah.
no.
That's why I was so judgmental. I was
Give a bit
different.
more credit than that.
No, you didn't.
It's like I have a responsibility, so I have to die and not anyone else because
Yeah,
I
I
want to
know.
protect them.
Dylan's like, yeah.
Whatever.
So I think the one you guys didn't all figure out is that Moira was Morgause.
I thought perhaps that was it.
Which
If you get more than
I'd
one
guess,
Moira in a
like,
room, you get more geese.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And Morgause is Morgana's sister in the lore, and also Arthur's half sister and the mother of Gavin, Agravain, and Mordred.
Interesting.
By the way, the thing about working out who Mordred was, I don't think Artie ever spoke to Mariko. I think
Probably not.
like
I think they had
all
a
arrive on the
conversation.
first day,
I
and
thought they
then
did in the hallway. Like
maybe
the 4th episode, I thought.
I feel like they had a
Um,
conversation, but I don't know.
I don't know if they did. I know Bert and I did.
Yeah.
But
I-
even
I
my
don't
character
remember
didn't really
now.
talk to Mariko very much.
Yeah. and I
Mariko was
didn't either.
Mordred. Igne was Igraine, the
Mhm.
queen, and Yuri, the Drake, was Uther Pendragon. So all of the adults were useless because that's what they are in the original story.
also maybe the head teacher was Artie's real dad because he's adopted.
We never talked about that.
Yeah.
They had one meeting where he told him off, and then that was that. So
He wasn't intended to be a principal character in this story, so
I just like the idea of that when they were having that discussion of like they might be father and son and how that's cool. In amongst
Yeah.
everything else.
just to throw that in there. So that was
It's such a
that
good-
was the story.
Such a
lot of
good.
fun.
I felt like this episode was difficult. I don't know if anyone else felt that. It
No,
was.
it
It's
was.
hard to end things.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
What's your thoughts on endings, Lauren?
Oh yeah, I was talking about this beforehand. Endings have a lot of expectations that come with them because you are ending something, and with that, everybody has different opinions on what that should look like and what they want that to feel like. Some people really like tragic endings, and other people want happy endings, and other people want complicated ones that they don't see coming. And like, there's sometimes comfort in the sort of expected, and there is no way that you are going to hit all of the right notes with the ending, so you kind of just have to go for what you want. Like for me, it was, I want the players to make the big decisions, and I want there to feel like there's a conclusion, like they actually did something that had some effect. Whether it was a significant effect or a smaller one, I still wanted it to feel like you guys made some sort of progress about this problem, and that you fundamentally made the decisions for yourself about, in this case, setting up the situation of like, someone might have to die, who that person would be.
So why didn't the cup light up in Artie's hand?
Because no one had really, like, you guys were all still fighting over it.
It didn't light up till after you drank it, I think, right?
No, it lit up when it was in his hand, but it was just his hand. Like it wasn't like.
I think that was also, so Jalal would get to kind of subconsciously chose, and so he saw the action and was like, okay, this is the right decision.
Yeah, whenever you took it, Jalal did look at me and say,
like, let him drink it.
Yeah, he was like, let him choose or something.
I think it was like, let him do this, or
like, let him do this. And then I nodded, and that's why I asked for the sword back.
Okay.
A part of me was so hoping,
because we agreed to agree.
When Viv had that sword and the grail, that she was going to pass the sword to Jalal or me, and that she was just going to down the, like, just somehow drink from the grail. And I'd been like, ah!
But I can't use the sword.
But
then she'd just die.
I probably, like, if you had gone that route, I would have figured something out. I would have been like, well,
like, because I drank it, I could now use the sword or something. I don't know.
You and Jalal become one person.
I would love that.
We transform.
Maybe
I would
the crystal without the sword. Maybe they don't. She doesn't need the sword. She just like smashes it.
So
I don't know. I think it would have been really weird for her to do that, just because like the way that like Merlin even said to her, like, you can't use the sword. Like it was all building up to that, so it kind of made it feel like she had to make a decision, right?
If you had, I'd have been like, give me the sword. I've taken the sword. Then I'd been like, here's the sword back. And I'd be like, does that work?
So for those of you that never bonked, what were your sex moves?
Oh yeah.
Get super protective over whoever I bonked, which I was like, I haven't bonked anyone, but I've kind of been dating Viv, so I'm going to half initiate that to like cover that aspect.
God.
Mine was that they gain the condition consort, so the thing that I was working for the first half.
And mine was when you have sex with someone, you can ask them for a gift. If they refuse or are unable to give the gift, then I take 2 strings on them.
Okay.
I really want you and like Viv and Bert to have bonked and then be like, give me your head.
I actually hadn't truly decided what would happen if you're, because like technically you can in this system you can die and not die, like you can like, and I think it would have just been like, when you go to your darkest self, you erase all the harm, you literally pick up your head and just put it back on your body.
All right.
Ew.
Like that would have been you going to your darkest self, is like you would very viscerally heal all the wounds, where I sort of imagine everyone else is it sort of like a, like it just doesn't happen kind of thing, where like the harm just doesn't end up happening. Whereas I think for the Green Knight, it would have been like, no, you took it.
Yeah.
I wish that I would have gone into Darkest Self. I feel like Viv, it would have made sense for Viv to go into Darkest Self whenever she caught Lance cheating on her. Like, I think if that would have happened, it would have been a very interesting, different half end of the story.
I mean, she kind of did.
What?
A little bit. You got a little nefarious there for a little bit.
Not really, though. She's still like the goody two-shoe that she is.
But
If
you
I was
also
really
kind of
truly
caught
Darkest
Lance.
Self, I would have played it very, very differently, I think.
Yeah. I had fun throwing wrenches at all of you. I sometimes feel like I didn't throw enough at you.
Oh,
love to
I've got bruises in wrench shapes just everywhere.
You're welcome.
Yeah, at one point it was like let's all screw over Lance. Then it was let's all screw over Artie, and then
It
it was
started
let's
because
screw,
Morgan.
let's screw over Morgan. Oh, let's screw over Artie some more. Like, I loved it.
I love the conversation with Artie about like, dude, like, so I'm really sorry, but apparently I bonked like Gwen.
That was just like,
It's like, and
how do you
again,
respond to
My
that?
favorite
Again.
part is when
That's
Artie
one
was
of the
like,
things that
"Shut up,
happened.
Lance." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I really enjoyed that bit. You're like, oh wow. You really got after it.
Oh, what's everyone's epilogues?
Ooh.
So what happened to
Well,
first off? What happened to Lance?
so
From
Lance's
me?
jacket.
Oh no.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
can't tell you.
What did
I
happen,
can't tell
Lance?
you.
No.
I don't know. As far as you're concerned, Lance is dead.
I like if possible. I imagine that a grave is made and everything, and that all happens. If possible, Artie wants the grave to be Lance Knight, a true knight.
Oh.
But
What was
see,
in Lance's jacket?
yeah.
So he'd hurriedly written a couple of
A
very
muddy
short.
leg.
Sure.
Chair
Oh,
leg.
chair
There is,
leg,
okay,
yeah.
there is a
Muddy
chair leg
chair
in one
leg.
of the pockets. That is true. In the other one, there's like a couple of notes and stuff that he just wrote while in the front of the car. One of them was to Jalal, which says, "Don't feel sorry for picking me. Like, it's not your fault. Be good, take care of the team. Make sure Artie, you have Artie's back better than I did." Another one is to Artie, which is like, "Sorry if I knocked you out. I had to do this. Also, you have to take care of Gwen. Don't be a fool. Kiss her."
Wow!
There's kind of a crab at the bottom. There's one to Viv, which just says, "Live a good life." And then there's one to my dads, which says, "Sorry, dads. I fucked up a little bit along the way, but hopefully I did better. I hope you're proud of me." And then it's got like a PS, which is just like says like, "Artie or Viv, can you decide which of you explains and gives this to them? Thanks."
Okay.
Artie would probably he'd be like, "I'll do it." Don't know how this is gonna work.
What's Artie's epilogue?
I don't know. Imagine if this was a TV show and it were to go anywhere, it would go to whenever the dance actually happens.
It's probably not at the school, like it's at the community center. And it's
Yeah,
like, a week later or something.
Correct.
Also, it does say, by the way, on Artie's note, "P.S. You get to have my leather jacket. Take care of it."
It's gross.
Probably
There's
keeps
like
it, but
mud
doesn't-
on it.
Yeah, he keeps it in like a box and doesn't wear it because that's Like this is respectful. Also, ew. Don't like crap on it. That fight, there was a lot of mud and crap down there.
There's also
You can
actively
clean a jacket. Jeez.
blood at some point, I think.
Yeah, you really
Yeah,
should clean it. That would be
but,
more respectful.
Okay, he does that then, I guess.
He gets the jacket cleaned.
If it can be cleaned, yeah.
Does Artie dance with Gwen at the dance?
Yeah.
I think he does more than dance with Gwen.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Well, what happens is he rolls not and he fails, and then God knows what happens from there.
Roll
Someone's
right
become
now
a
for how
consort.
that exchange happened.
Okay, here we go. We roll.
Yeah.
Gwen takes
With
pity
his-
on him.
It's hot zero.
Does my letter give him one forward?
No.
Maybe? No.
Here we go. It's a partial
Partial.
success.
Yay! Artie gets a partial with
It's
Gwen.
just the tip.
It's just a hand. Andy.
I guess
Well, this
the
VOD is being
true question
demonetized.
is,
Hi,
does Gwen
YouTube.
ever end up with the conditioned consort?
Sorry?
Does Gwen ever end up with the conditioned consort?
Presumably so, yeah.
Yay!
That answers our question.
Better person to have it than Morgan for
Aww.
And with
Artie.
that, what's Morgan's epilogue?
Morgan probably spends a lot of time with Mariko, making better and slightly more well thought out plans to
Rule the world. I mean,
rule the world. Yeah, no, to figure out exactly how dead are the dragons, if at all, and also to obviously become president of the student council. And
oh,
Okay, so
Also,
the rivalry returns then.
do
All right.
do people retain their abilities?
I was
Because the
gonna.
dragons went back to sleep, and the abilities only
Oh,
come when they're
God.
waking up.
oh yeah, I've still got like a thing on
abilities.
on Gavin and Viv and Mariko, so I've that's really handy.
The abilities were actually not tied to the they were tied to the dragons waking up because the dragons were put to sleep by Merlin. And when that spell ended, it released everything. And that spell is over because the material component keeping that spell together was the crystal. So now
Right.
you're all untethered.
But we have magic, right?
Oh,
And you have magic.
I guess we have all the moves from our move list now.
Because I was like, my background revolves around that, so I hope we still have it.
So it doesn't go away. It was essentially locked until the spell started ending, and that wasn't put in place by the dragons. The spell was put in place by Merlin.
So magic floating balls of water around Viv are just a very common sight around town, since she uses them
think
about
so.
3 times every
It's a
10
weird
minutes.
town. It's always been a kind of weird town, and it just got weirder.
I was gonna say probably for Bert's ending, it revolves around having to clean up the mess that everything's left behind. So like, I work with Moira to forge a story of what happened to Lance and why he died and why there's no body, because his parents would definitely be asking the questions like, where's the body? Like what's happening here? On top of having to falsify school records and like help anyone out, because now that we know about this Arthurian legend, the town might not know anything about it. And we've kind of got to lay low and not show magic and not like raise too many eyebrows because we still have to kill 2 dragons. So I think that would be Bert's job, be to work with Moira and maybe even Morgan at some point, because Morgan's got magic ability, trying to fix that friendship, but still always having a thing for Morgan, even though Morgan will never feel that feeling for Bert. And trying to like, live their lives as best they can, despite now knowing that what their true intentions are and what their true stories are. And then I get fuck this shit out of Viv just to say fuck you to Lance. Just kidding.
Wow.
Moira in the dust. I would say if we were to ever come back to this, you guys would all take get growing up moves, which is something that you get when you like end a season of Monsterhearts, and like some of them are actually they're great because they're you becoming less terrible people.
I think it would be really cool actually is if we did a second season. It takes place when we're like adults, like really older. It wouldn't work for Monsterhearts, but like I thought
It to be too older. It could be like university.
yeah,
But then
that's what I mean.
we wouldn't make terrible decisions anymore.
No, you still would.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, then
we just
college.
left,
You're
maybe.
still making terrible decisions.
Hey, I still make terrible decisions. It's great.
Yeah,
What's
I think
up
for
with Viv?
I think for Viv, she's definitely like honing in on the magic that she's capable of, and probably trying to figure out how to solve the dragon problem as well.
Who
does she take
to the dance, though?
I don't think she takes anybody
Yes!
because she was gonna go with Gwen. Actually, maybe who was teaching her dance lessons?
Lamar.
Lamar. You
Lamar,
don't even remember his name. Oh, that's
Does she go with good guy
Maybe-
Lamar?
Yeah, maybe she goes with Lamar, pending if he
Oh,
has
I
a
guess I'll
dance.
go with you, Lamar. I just forgot your name, but yeah, you're cool.
I was trying to remember who it was because I don't have my notes up right now. But I think that pending how the relationships were with, I think Bert, she probably still is talking to you, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
probably Bert and Moira, she probably hangs out with them a lot more and trying to help them figure out what is happening.
Yeah,
And
I feel
guess
like
if we need
definitely
Morgan's
Viv is-
help, see how that friendship goes.
I mean, it'd be like keeping Morgan at a distance. Like I guess we'd be more of keeping Morgan in check because we know Morgan has magic, and we need to make sure that Morgan doesn't abuse it.
Maybe.
Morgan,
a lot of
do you
that.
pretend to be Lance again after Lance's death? Just to fuck
Oh
with people?
god, that'd be...
I can't.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
you need
have
strings.
anything with Lance. I could break into Lance's house if you want.
I think
guess
it wouldn't work. I think if Morgan tried, it wouldn't
Nothing
work.
belongs to Lance anymore because Lance is dead, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I guess the sympathetic token would just lose its power because it's just
Yeah.
a thing now.
Like any of you who had strings on Lance, they are gone now.
Oh, that's like
what
I had
that's a good
five.
idea.
Sorry,
had
sorry,
five.
sorry. Lance is dead. Oh, I lost my strings on Lance. Oh no.
I have
Oh no, how am I
five.
supposed to manipulate this guy who's
I have
dead?
5 strings and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4 like gifts that I can exchange for stuff.
Oh, and I always forgot I had a forward on Lance that I never used. Shoot. I just lost it. You're dead now.
You used it on me when, like, me and Artie were trying to get the Grail.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I
I've
should
still got forward on Artie, so hopefully that will help me in the presidential thingy.
I know, like
Are you
critical
going
skill.
for class president?
we're
or
doing
class
like
president?
we're doing like a roll cold off.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
and the vault's
Ooh,
back.
yeah,
maybe you should like
do it.
roll your
So,
best
I mean,
stat
here's the
to
thing. All of
compete.
you would get 2 growing up moves. So they may come into play like call people on their shit and make others feel beautiful, share your pain, and intervene in an act of violence.
Oh.
Mhm.
There isn't one
Remember,
called
like,
cause an act of violence because that would be what Lance would have picked.
That does remind me, talking about rolling cold, that I really wanted in like the last couple episodes to roll cold against the dragons. And I was trying to find an opportunity for it. Basically, if Gwen had got possessed again in front of him, because it only ever happened that first time, and then other times it was in front of Lance and stuff. If it had happened again, he was going to roll cold against the dragon by just shouting it down till it went away. And then the part where he turned to the hills and started shouting, like, "Is this how dragons fight?" He was going to continue and call them cowards. And
Oh
roll
no,
cold
I'm
with that.
sorry.
Well, no, it was probably a good idea you stopped him because I'm like, yes, this is a stupid thing he's doing.
No,
he's
but it
gonna
would've
do
been
it because it might stop them.
Oh
It
no,
might stop
it'd
them
been great.
possessing
Someone
Gwen.
should have got possessed by a dragon, swung at you, and then I could have used my move, which I was really looking forward to, which is to jump in the way and take the blow.
But his idea was like, I'm fed up of the possessions, and so damn the consequences. If this like persuades them to take any other means than possessing Gwen, then I'm gonna shout at them, roll cold, and call them cowards, and then we'll probably get murdered because they'll like wake up and cause earthquakes.
There was an outcome in which the dragons woke up. That was also possible.
Oof, that would have been fun.
That would have been a
Well,
whole
you did
different-
say there's a chance if you all didn't survive. I was like, what?
Yeah, like essentially if all of you guys had been like, no, we don't want to do this, and like tried to find some other way around it and taken too long, it would have been like, yeah, dragons wake up.
I gotta
It's
say,
done.
when you said that,
Hey.
oh, like, I guess maybe one person who's, like, really good with the sword and the power of the Grail could maybe defeat a dragon, Lance was like, that's really tempting. Really tempting.
Lance is shirtless, trying to like fight off the dragon. with,
No,
like, a
no,
sword,
I need the
like,
leather jacket. That really
oh.
helps me reduce harm. I really need that.
Shirtless with
I don't
just a
think it would
jacket.
work on a dragon. I want to be clear, they deal like 4 harm at once.
So I only take 3. That's, you know,
Squish.
1 hit
Mm.
and extra.
I remember you did mention.
Nom, nom.
I just cut
Remember
out
that
the
you did
inside, like, you know, Hercules. just
You're
the
like
Hydra.
inside of it.
Yeah, just
Try
like,
and be darkest self from the inside of a dragon's stomach.
yes, that's exactly how it would go.
I'm so
I
sad I
remember
never got to
that-
go to Darkest Self.
I'm so sad that
Aw.
Lance never got to bonk Vivian.
Yeah,
Maybe you shouldn't cheat on her.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm still concussed from all the spanners that got thrown at me.
You could have tried harder.
It would have been interesting.
You
for-
could have taken
Fuck you.
that. There's literally a move to help you resist temptation that you
Wouldn't
never
have made
chose
sense to get it in Darkest Self.
Could have started with it.
Oh.
I don't think I
But that's
leveled up
not
until
the
Darkest
Lancelot
Self. I'm
way.
pretty sure I didn't level up until the episode of
You could have
Darkest Self.
taken it as a starting move. Like you had a potential move that would have helped you.
Oh,
in
but that
this
would have railroaded the
situation.
character. I didn't want to railroad the character. I wanted to have the character grow organically.
Okay, sure. So then it's not my fault. It grew organically into a spanner.
It grew organically around the spanner pile.
No, it played out good. I think it all worked out. I like that she didn't find out. Like, she just tried so hard to believe. I almost took the ability that was like, you don't see the bad in like the person that you like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there was a thing, and I was talking to Lauren about it, but then she made that happen. So
Then he fucked up a little too hard.
yeah,
Oh,
I think it was good.
I'm
made for
very
like a
happy
crazy epic moment.
with how this story happened. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody, for joining me on this adventure.
it was so much fun.
It was really fun. I want to use more. I want to like have more abilities and do more.
I do feel that maybe your move about bargaining ceremony should become slightly more situational than every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that would probably be one I would restrict to like once a session.
Oh,
Because it's just like, oh, I keep my hair permanently wet. I guess I could also do permanent siren song and also permanent bargaining ceremony.
She's like, how do I break this?
That's why it's called playtesting.
Yes.
well, I didn't really do much prior, so it was kind of like that was my escalation was at the end, right?
yeah.
So like prior to it, like I kind of was just whatever everyone else is doing because my character didn't really have much play in the story when it came to like that stuff, like the abilities.
My character's mostly doing whatever anyone else manipulates me to do.
Yeah.
Don't know what you mean.
I think every time everyone's been like, right, Laura's been like, right, tell me vaguely what you're planning before the episode so I can make sure I have the NPCs in place. I've been like, I'm just reacting to everything. I've got no plans because
Perfect.
Lance.
Makes my life easier.
Yeah, I think there was only one episode I had a few things. Otherwise,
You had
everything
a
else I
lot of
was like,
things.
I'm doing whatever.
Yeah. There was that
In fact,
one
I
day.
So my
Yeah.
plans haven't survived like.
Contact with the enemy Lance.
Well, no, it's contact with like 5 minutes of any episode.
What did you say, Josh?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, most of the time I was winging it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm winging it. Like before this last episode, everyone's like, because like I sang and then I was like, man, what do I do now? And Josh is like, I thought you had a plan. I was like, no, man, this is improv. I just was like, oh shit, people are getting stabbed. Now what do I do?
I've got thinking time.
This is rough.
Okay, I
it,
guess
though.
we should close off the after show. This has been a fairly long after show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. YouTube. You can of course catch more after shows by supporting us on Twitch if you want, on Patreon if you want
Patreon.
to. At $5 or above, the Observer tier or above, you get access to all of the after shows. And there'll also be another one coming next week for Broken Skies because that's ending next week. So look forward to that.
I'm also
Right.
going to be scanning all of my notes and putting them up for the GM tier.
Yay.
So you
Awesome.
can see-
I'm not at all going to look through all of those in detail.
I don't normally reveal the magic behind the madness, so
It's
This
a
is
kind of
new.
magic.
Shouldn't that be the other way around?
The madness behind the magic. No, that's my GMing style.
mine is the magic behind the madness. See, this is the madness over here. This is the magic.
There you go.
This is when I do it. This is the magic. This is the madness. Seriously, my
And
notes
when
are
I do
not
it-
as neat.
When I do it, it's like organization.
I call my notes neat.
Compared to mine,
That's how I was though, Margaret, when I GM'd. Everything had to like have a note, a backstory written out. Everything was planned.
oh, I can't wait. I really want you to GM for me so that I can fuck up all your plans.
The trick is if you plan for everything, they can't fuck it up.
Oh, I tried doing that. I've done that many times, especially with Layla. It never works because you always find a fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh.
We're gonna go
or-
in the basement.
Let's go to the basement.
Episode 1, I was
Okay.
like, fuck this. Okay, let's make up shit in the basement.
There's
on the
cool stuff
fly.
in the basement. Let's go to the basement.
I
Yeah,
had-
let's go to the
I had
basement.
planned, that the school is on top of a Hellmouth, just like in the original Buffy. No one will ever know. And then they were like, guys, it's episode 1. Should we just go to the basement for fun? Yeah, let's do that. I was like, okay, let's make up a character called James who's getting sacrificed by demons on top of the Hellmouth, and also Penny Moo drained his brain earlier. Excellent, quickly. We're working on this, and that became a
Then he
central core
becomes
plot.
the love interest. Oh.
You did good work. All right.
Set up the
All right,
interest.
anyway, thank you very much for watching the after
Yes.
show. hopefully enjoy
Bye, guys.
Layla's coming as well. So bye.
Hey guys.